This story happened back when I was in 9th grade. In high school, I was kind of troubled, always looking for adrenaline kicks and thrills to escape reality. And this behavior also led me to start experimenting with drugs. And this in turn led me to become friends with people that were kind of fucked up. I was 15 in a passenger seat with no seatbelt on while my friend was driving. He had never owned a driver's license, he was under the influence of drugs, and the car, he had stolen it from his mom. In this moment, I felt adrenaline just pumping through my veins, and I did not know what to do. Through one close friend, I got to know the guy who was later driving this night. He was a little bit older than us. He was almost in his 20s. I'm not saying that I looked up to him, but when you are 15, people a bit older than you, they can seem more tough. Me and my friends were just small-time criminals causing trouble at our school. And this guy, he already had a criminal record of violence and drugs. If there was something you wanted to get your hands on, he was the guy to talk to. Needless to say, he was kind of unpredictable though. I remember how he once threatened one of my friends with a fork. But anyway, I had not known him for a long time until this one night. I was sitting in my room alone, on my computer, probably listening to music. It was winter outside and absolutely freezing. And my phone screen, it suddenly lights up. I look down and I see this guy calling me. And I pick up the phone. He tells me that he's driving. His mom was sleeping, so he stole the keys. He asks me if I want to cruise with him for a little bit. And then go to another city to score some of that green stuff that does not grow on the football field. You know what I mean? To me, this was a fucking great idea, so of course I said yes. I waited for him a little bit to drive over to my place, and I snuck outside. He came there, and I got into the car in the passenger seat. But the thing was, he had never owned a driver's license. He knew sort of how to use the gas pedal, the clutch and the brake. But beyond that, I wouldn't really trust him as a driver. And on top of that, he had no seatbelt on and he was already high. At this moment though, I wasn't too worried. I was having a good time. We were talking, catching up and pumping music. I got so caught up in the moment that I forgot to put my seatbelt on. Or maybe I was stupid and thought it was cool to not put it on because he did not have it on. I can't remember exactly, but the point is, I was driving with this guy who never owned a driver's license and under the influence of drugs with no seatbelt. But this was only my second mistake. My first mistake was getting into the car to begin with. He was taking this old Toyota, or whatever brand it was. All I know is that in my opinion, this car should have been scrapped years ago. And he was driving in the middle of the road and treating speed signs just as fucking decoration. Luckily, there was barely any activity on the road because it was in the middle of a winter night. But as we took the final turn onto the main road going to the other city, things changed. The talking stopped and I look over to my friend and his eyes are just dead, staring into empty space ahead of him, as if I wasn't there anymore. And that's the moment he starts to accelerate. I froze for a moment. Everything was just so unexpected. He did not tell me anything or hit me with the classic, "Oh, she told me she loved me." He just buried his foot onto the gas pedal. I could not hear the music anymore. All I could hear was the struggling engine noises of this old car as it was really kicking into drive. I looked over at the speed meter and we were already going over 100 kilometers an hour in a 60 zone. I believe that is 62 miles in a 37 zone for reference. And keep in mind, this was a 2-lane road, but it was not large and it wasn't always straight either. In this moment, I did not feel any panic or fear. I felt nothing. If I felt anything at all, it was suspense, as if I was waiting for something to happen. And I felt how my adrenaline was just pumping. colors, they became brighter, my body felt lighter, and the grain before my eyes disappeared. In this moment, I did not know what to do. Tell him to stop, yeah, it doesn't hurt to fucking ask. But this guy, he had ADHD so severe that I was scared that if I tried to talk with him, that he would just lose focus and maybe lose control of the car. I did not know what to do. And the scary thing was that I don't even know if he knew what he was doing. During all of this, he seemed to be in his own world. It was fucking scary. I looked back at the speed meter again. It ticked from 160 to 170, from 170 to 180, 190, and then 200 kilometers an hour or 124 miles an hour, and his foot was still on the gas pedal. By this point, I felt the wind crashing against the front of the car. The trees, we soon passed them and they turned into a blurry mess, and it was something about the first digit, 1, suddenly becoming a 2 that snapped something inside of me. I felt how the nothingness and suspense I was feeling suddenly turned into dread. I got a full adrenaline overload. I remember how my friend also had that face and those eyes of somebody that did not care whether they die. He did not care if he lost control of the car, and he did not care if another driver came in the other direction as he was driving in the middle of the road. But I did not want to die. The next thing I did automatically, and I told him to slow down. Suddenly he looked dazed and confused as he snapped out of the world he was in. I got worried for a second, but he managed to keep the car under control, and we slowed down to a normal speed. We did not crash, and this night I did not die. That night, I did not realize how close I was to dying. Obviously, it was dangerous, drugged up driver in the middle of the road, but in many ways, I liked this experience. And that's why I did not realize it, because I liked all of the adrenaline that I felt. I felt the thrill that I was always searching for. It was only years later that I fully realized that I could have died. I unconsciously told myself first that we did not crash because we were destined to not crash. I mean, we downplay the worst case scenario every day. We don't worry about a car crash when driving to work. We don't worry about the cigarettes that we smoke, and we think that a partner that we have, that they will always stay around. But if there is something we cannot imagine, it is death. It does not feel real that something so profound can happen in the blink of an eye because of a sudden turn of events, regardless if you're doing something routine or something stupid, like me stepping into that car when I was 15. I had luck on my side that night, but I probably won't always have fortune with me, and neither will you. Don't stop taking risks or you stop living your life, but maybe stop and think before you do something for the sake of a thrill. After this video's end, I just wanted to put a short note. Holomonia, it is my video project, you could say. I make long-form videos here on YouTube and on social media, mostly Instagram. I also make short-form videos, like video edits and color grading. This video specifically, the night I almost died, it took me a lot of time to make. I have reshot the clips, I've rewritten the script many times, edited everything, color graded everything, tried to sit and come up with effects, etc, etc. And if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. I'm not gonna ask anything from you, I'm just happy that you made it this far.